Another day, another story about the plastic box war, which is ridiculous. I thought I'd take a few minutes to just sort of talk about what we actually have coming down the line for all consoles, because generally speaking, there's a lot of good stuff coming. And I keep seeing all these posts about like, oh, Sony has these Marvel exclusives and such, and that's it. It's over. And I just find it so ridiculous because, yeah, they have great games. I'm going to be playing those games, and so will a lot of people. But to completely just say that nothing else is going to be purchased by anybody except those properties is ridiculous. So let's take a look at the releases that are coming out for everybody and sort of talk about why there's a lot to be excited about for all gamers right now. Before I get into it, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and hit that bell. Thank you so much to those of you who have. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, I mean, like tomorrow, basically, we're getting Kena Bridge of Spirits on the PlayStation 5. On the Nintendo side, we have Pokemon Unite coming to iOS and Android. We have Diablo 2 Resurrected, a cross-platform title, coming to PC on September 23rd. Sable is a Xbox game that I'm really excited about because they're trying something unique. We have Death Stranding Director's Cut coming September 24th, which looks to correct a lot of the criticisms of the original Death Stranding playthrough of it being too slow or methodical. I actually started playing through Death Stranding recently, and I kind of like the serene nature of it. Well, there's moments of terror whenever you get spotted by the enemies and you have to have like a crying baby. It's very stressful, but I like it so far. So September 24th, if you haven't played that game, that would probably be a good time to check it out. Astria Ascending is coming to basically everything on September 30th. Alan Wake Remastered is coming to basically everything on October 5th. Far Cry 6 is coming to basically everything on October 7th. Just for Nintendo, and a game I'm really excited about, though, is Metroid Dread on Nintendo Switch. That's coming on October 8th. Now, Metroid Dread actually finishes the story of Samus games that have been coming out. I believe Zero Mission and Fusion were two of the entries, and then the remake of the Game Boy game that came to the DS is also part of that saga. I'm really, really excited to play Dread. I haven't finished Samus Returns, which is the DS title, so I need to finish that before October 8th when Metroid Dread hits. Back 4 Blood, again, coming to basically everything. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, that one's for Paul Tassi, who's really into it for some reason, but that's basically coming to everything. In November, we got Forza Horizon 5, as I know a lot of Xbox fans are excited about, on November 9th. Shin Megami Tensei is coming to Switch on November 12th. Battlefield 2042 coming to basically everything November 19th, recently delayed to November 19th. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and the other one Shining Pearl. You know, they always give you the choices for the Pokemon game that you want, coming to Switch for November 19th. Final Fantasy Endwalker, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, coming to PlayStation 5, PS4, PC, and Mac November 23rd. And Halo Infinite is coming December 8th. There are a few titles that were slated for 2021 that I don't believe we have an update on, including Bright Memory Infinite coming to Xbox, Crossfire X coming to Xbox, and Tunic. We don't have dates on those. And Scorn also was a title that I didn't write down. So that's just 2021. And a lot of people have been saying, like, look how many games are coming to My Plastic Box versus My Plastic Box. And there's just been this constant conversation and criticism for Xbox not having enough exclusives. Well, Xbox has been working on correcting that, especially going into the holiday season and going into 2022. Their library is going to continue to get stronger. PlayStation has placed major bets on fewer titles, but I think they're really, really smart bets that have wider appeal to a mass audience. So it's just going to be a great time for anybody who doesn't take part in, like, let's say you only have one console. I think you're going to be doing great no matter what because of all the cross-platform titles. And if you're not taking part in My Plastic Box is better than your plastic box, and you kind of look at the bigger picture, everybody sort of has a lot of great titles coming, and that's why I'm making this video. So that was just 2021. We hop into 2022 and we actually have a few confirmations of titles that are coming out in 2022, including Elden Ring. Elden Ring is going to be basically on everything, not Switch, but it will be on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation platforms. That's January 21st. Another Pokemon title. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but if you're a Switch fan, I'm sure you're going to be picking up Pokemon Legends Arceus Sorry, I don't know nothing about Pokemon, so I'm sure I said that wrong. Dying Light 2 was recently delayed to February, as was everything else. So we're getting Dying Light 2 on February 4th. Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th. Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, one that I will definitely be playing. That is coming February 22nd. And I think there's something else in February that I missed, but we'll continue on anyway. You'll have to correct me in the comments. Gran Turismo 7 is coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 March 4th. Tiny Tina's Wonderland is also in March, and it's coming to basically everything. No Switch. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, that is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC, and is looking great. That is actually one of my more anticipated titles. And then the last one that I saw with a confirmed date on I'm using the Game Informer list, was Starfield, coming November 11th. Now, I'm sure I missed some stuff, so if I did, let me know in the comments below. But then we also have a ton of titles that don't necessarily have confirmed dates, but look really, really interesting in 2022 alone. And that's not even including the stuff beyond there. So we have A Plague Tale Requiem, we have Forspoken, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. Forspoken and Ghostwire are PlayStation 5 exclusives and PC. Plague Tale Requiem, that's coming to everything, basically. God of War Ragnarok is coming sometime in 2022 to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Lost Ark, do not sleep on Lost Ark. I keep talking about it, but Lost Ark on PC looks great. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, that is coming to Switch. Redfall, and after the leaks, I'm very excited about Redfall because it's a looter shooter, so I'm into it. That is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC sometime in 2022. The Callisto Protocol, basically a game being created by the creators of the Dead Space franchise that takes place in the PUBG universe. I don't know how all that works together, but if they created a Dead Space, I am into it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel is also coming to Switch, supposedly in 2022. Now, the reason I'm sort of making this video is because everybody's sort of talking about exclusives and everything right now, and I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of a different topic. I wanted to talk about how we're about to enter a time in gaming where both of the consoles are competing in a great way. I've talked many times on this channel about how competition is good. I've talked about how I don't like the cost increase to $70 games, especially when the companies that are producing those games, Activision, EA, PlayStation included, they're posting record profits, and they're also charging their consumers more money. So I don't like that. And I do like when there are pro-consumer moves made. But anyway, regardless of how I feel personally about the $10 increase of certain companies who are doing that, there's just great games coming out no matter what. And that's wonderful for everybody. I posted a tweet today that said PlayStation has a lot to look forward to. Xbox has a lot to look forward to. Nintendo has a lot to look forward to. PC has a lot to look forward to. It sure is an awesome time to be gaming no matter the platform. And I truly believe that. We have all these interesting games. Some of them are even interesting new concepts that we haven't seen before. There was a tweet a few days ago from Pyro who said, I think his wording was very poor, but he said, do you want more unique experiments, AAA games like Deathloop and Sony Returnal this generation? The problem that I have with this tweet, and I don't really know Pyro or anything about him, isn't that he said something about Sony. Unique experiments, or experiences, which is what some people theorize is what he meant, referring to Deathloop and Returnal. Yes, I would like that. But basically what he's saying is, do you want companies to take a chance on new IP? Yes, I absolutely do. I've always been a big advocate for anybody trying a new IP or a new sort of genre within the space. But we get that all the time. If you go back to the 360 era, the original Mass Effect was considered an experiment for its time. Nobody had done anything like that. They put a big bet on Casey Hudson's concept, the doctors did over at BioWare, when they actually greenlit that series. You go back even further to the heyday of sort of experimenting with new concepts with Nintendo and the Metroid series being an experiment or a new experience. And I will give them this. There haven't been a lot of companies trying new things. A lot of times they kind of stick to a known format, but they do something unique with it. And the idea that something like Deathloop has never been done before, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Like, at its basis, it's still an Arcane game, and it's sort of the evolution of what Arcane has been building over the years. So it's just sort of interesting to say, he said experiments. So Returnal is the evolution of what Housemarque has been doing. Deathloop is the evolution of what Arcane has been doing. So I don't really consider those experiments. Those are companies that feel very strongly about their vision for a product and they move forward with them, as many companies do when they place a big bet on something. I don't feel like those are experiments. Those are large groups of people coming together behind an idea and saying, this is what we want to create, this is what we want to present to the world, and going for it. The original KOTOR would be a good example. A lot of BioWare games did this. It was really at their heart. I mean, if you even go back even further, Blizzard did this. And it is nice to see people sort of tweaking the formulas and trying new things, or at least evolving the formulas. Like if you go back and play Halo 2, Halo 2 is a good game. But I'm sure when we get Halo Infinite, when Halo Infinite comes out, it's going to be a really, really interesting evolution of the shooter genre. So the whole console war nonsense is just, it's a little fatiguing, because when you limit yourself to one plastic box, you are eliminating the opportunity to experience all video games, right? And I've told you about my criticisms about the PlayStation, what do you want to say? The policies that the corporation has. But I've never necessarily criticized, unless I had a personal, negative reaction to it, PlayStation games. One of the first reviews I did on this channel was for The Last Guardian, which, while flawed, I actually praised for Fumito Ueda's chance, his opportunity to actually create a piece of art that he was really, really passionate about. So while this video is sort of a weird stream of consciousness video, I did kind of want to talk about, because a lot of people call me an Xbox fanboy. Xbox is my preferred platform to play on. Xbox includes PC, and includes the console. And I feel like there's constantly a lot of people compare it to a buffet because of Game Pass. You're able to try out a lot of different things and be exposed to a lot of new ideas. On PlayStation, when you're spending that $70, and this is why a lot of people don't have an issue with the $70, you know that you're going to get a great experience. You have a lot of confidence in what they're creating, because Sony just decided we're not going to mess around with anything that we don't think is going to be massively successful. So the games that come out on that platform are bangers, to put it more or less. And I truly believe Xbox is going to get there. I still have a lot of confidence in Halo. I am nervous about the delay to Co-op and Forge, because that sends up a little bit of a red flag when Staten has to come in and basically say, hey, we got to delay these modes. So we'll see what happens. Xbox still has to prove themselves in this category, and it is why they will still get criticism through 2022. But when the bangers start coming out on the Xbox platform, we're just gonna be in a great spot as gamers, especially gamers who own both platforms, or gamers who own PC and Xbox and PlayStation. They're gonna be doing quite well. I don't really have a point with this video. I guess my point is just really, you can have a console preference and not be biased or blind to the advantages that are on another platform. And I think it's a little ridiculous that as human beings, the idea that people like myself aren't allowed to have something that they prefer. Like, I prefer offset sticks as opposed to sticks that are next to each other. I don't know the proper terminology for that, but if it's I will say I prefer the new technology in the PlayStation 5 controller versus the old technology in here. And I like the option to disable this actually in a game where I don't necessarily want to have the haptic feedback being utilized. Does that make me biased for having an opinion that I like offset sticks, but I have some preferences over here? It's just sort of weird to me that there's this expectation for me to be completely neutral and robotic. And it's just not, I'm just not going to be that. And I'm not going to ever live up to the internet's expectations, because they have this idea in my head of who I'm supposed to be, and I'm me. And I'm going to be honest with you about who I am. I still prefer the Xbox platform. I think Game Pass is a great service that's pro-consumer. I still think it's better than PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is likely going to be massively improved over the next few years because of Xbox Game Pass. And I still believe that competition is king at the end of the day. So yeah, again, I don't really know why I'm making this video. I just thought I would have a conversation with you, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a lot to look forward to no matter what platform that you're playing on right now. I'm having a great time playing through the PlayStation 4 version of Death Stranding. I actually want to finish the PlayStation 4 version before I play the director's cut version, so I need to get on that because it's right around the corner. I'm really looking forward to Kena Bridge of Spirits, sort of I believe it's a new IP that it honestly, it reminds me of Cameo, sort of the early Xbox 360 days when they tried something out with Cameo and they did these. The whole thing with Cameo was, look how many enemies we can have on the screen, and push the 360 to its limits. To see Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is potentially a shorter experience, come out to the PlayStation 5 console, that has me excited. And at the end of the day, I agree with Pyro. I do like new ideas. I don't think they're experiments, though. I don't think you spend millions and millions of dollars on experiments. I think you go through concept and then you come to a conclusion that, hey, I want to try this. And if enough people believe in it, then you get greenlit to move forward. I don't think experiment is the right word. To me, that's just a new IP, and every new IP is technically an experiment. Experiment at first. Mass Effect was an experiment that ended up turning into a trilogy. I'm sure KOTOR was an experiment at one point. Every company, Dead Space, an experiment, right? So experiment or experience, whatever. I'm all for anybody pushing the industry forward, but to think that that's only possible on one platform is just odd to me. Like Sable's an experiment, right? A small indie game. Tunic is an experiment because Xbox doesn't really have anything like that property. Wow, I've gone 16 minutes just sort of talking about my thoughts. These are just sort of the thoughts that go through my head when I see these tweets that are, or just people trying to bait you into like an angry reaction. And I'm just like, well, let's really think about this. There's a lot of great games coming to every platform, especially over the next few months. And that is amazing for everybody, isn't it? So why do you care if your plastic box got Spider-Man and you touted as some major victory? It's like, yeah, cool. It's great. I'm gonna play Spider-Man on my PlayStation 5. And I'm glad you're going to play your Spider-Man on your PlayStation 5 also. But why do you have to utilize that as a dig at the Xbox platform? That's what's weird to me. Now, if the criticism is Xbox doesn't have enough exclusives, we can make that map and we can put down the exclusives coming in 2022 to both platforms and see who is doing more experiments, Xbox versus PlayStation. But why? Who cares? Gamers can play wherever they want and they can play all the games that they want. So it's kind of good. And Xbox is addressing that criticism. They have been since the launch of the Series X. They've released they've announced their release cadence, and they have some cool stuff coming. And PlayStation has a lot of cool stuff coming too. It is a great time to be gaming. I was really happy to see the gaming community come together and just say, you promise free upgrades for Horizon Forbidden West, and they got Sony to keep their word, by the way. Praising them for trying to charge $20 and then going back on it, though. In hindsight, I don't think that was, like, when you think about it, they got caught in a lie and they had to reverse that lie and then keep their word. And that's the kind of corporate stuff that is just sort of like, maybe we should be saying, hey, that's not cool. You need to really stop doing stuff like that. You need to stop telling your consumers one thing and then trying to do another. We believe in generations, and then, oh, we're going to release cross-generationally free upgrades, and then they try not to do free upgrades, things like that. And that's why gamers were so mad at PlayStation for so long. And I think finally Sony is at a point where they are getting their messaging right. They have Herman Hulst doing a lot of the talking to people, and he's really, really nailing the tone, honestly. Having, just his experience alone just gives him a lot of credence. And Jim Ryan is coming out for the official statements where they have to backpedal on something they've said. And I do think people hate Jim Ryan, but whatever he's doing in the background is putting Sony at the #1 spot. So it can't be denied that even though I don't like the corporate policies and how they've been handling everything, they're doing something right. Something is working for them really, really well. And it's getting great AAA experiences, which even their developers are like, oh man, I don't know about this whole AAA thing. And Shuhei Yoshida has been talking a lot about, hey, look at all the indie titles that we actually do support on our platform. So I think the next year is just going to be a really, really interesting time for gaming. I think Sony's finally realized that they need to change their messaging style, maybe be a little less loosey-goosey with when they say stuff like free upgrades for everybody. Oh, just kidding, it's $20. Oh, just kidding. Oh, we'll keep our word, our bad, but from now on it's $10. We'll see what time has in store. Very stream of consciousness. Recorded this one late. I'm just going to post it without any B-roll, but I wanted to have the conversation with you. What game are you most looking forward to on any platform? Let me know one on each, or just let me know one game that is your top pick. That would be pretty good. I think mine is, man, honestly, Gear 6, because I want to see what the Coalition is able to do with the Unreal 5 engine. It's Unreal 5, right? Well, whatever the new Unreal version is currently, I believe it's 5. Yeah, Stalker 2 is looking really good also. Crossfire X. I've talked a lot about that stuff. Further out, oh, God of War. Duh. Anybody who knows, I have a Let's Play series where I played through God of War on the hardest difficulty. I got pretty far in, and then, you know, something else came along and I got distracted. But yeah. Hey, thanks for watching this video. It was really late in the day. I just had a lot of thoughts on my mind, and I want to put a video together. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody. Oh, yeah, subscribe, hit that bell. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Thank you to everybody who has become a member. Yeah, you're all wonderful. Thank you. Have a good one.